Next up, we have Potential for Anything from the VVVVVV soundtrack. Once again, everybody, this is a Basterd's LFA, a Layman-Friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician and composer, and my objective here is to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what is happening here, musically. So, if you like the sound of that, make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you're gonna use, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, become a member. Once again, everybody, don't forget to join the Discord server, the gaming channel, how to request songs if you're not on the live stream. I have a spiel for this and a bunch of other things at the end of the video, so stick around for that. Disclaimers showing on your screen right now, so go ahead and pause the video to read them in full. Otherwise, please be patient with me. I am acoustic and guitared, so please keep that in mind. With that, let's do this. Potential for Anything. Let's go. Okay, so we start our introduction over here with a first synth giving us that really cool sliding note, giving us our initial melody, which contains our initial motif. Motif being the smallest version of your musical idea, the essence from which everything else comes from. After that, we have a bass synth. Of course, we're using chiptune for this. Chiptune being like this retro style, kind of like the NES days style of chiptune of music, right? So we're having a bass synth giving us a little bit of a bass line, and we are having another synth giving us a little bit of accompaniment in the way of arpeggios. So accompaniment being whatever's not in the lead, right? Whatever doesn't have the spotlight is your accompaniment, and this other synth is giving us some arpeggios. So arpeggio is when you play a chord one note at a time. So for example, here is C minor, and here it is arpeggiated. And the way we're doing is we're doing this this kind of going up, then middle, then down. So we're doing that kind of thing, the root fifth, third fifth, root fifth, third fifth kind of thing with arpeggios. Then the melody starts developing immediately. It doesn't really repeat all the way back to the beginning with the use of sequencing. Sequencing is a way that you can develop your material in which you repeat a melodic idea. Classical VLP, welcome today. Yes, there is. In which you repeat a melodic idea just from a different starting point. So let's say if I were to have this kind of melody over here. Let's say we have that, we can repeat that from a different starting point. Oh. So imagine I can play the piano, right? So we're having some sequencing going on over here. We're developing the melody with that. Let me go back a couple of seconds. Let's see where this goes. Arpeggios going up and down. Now we're focusing mainly on arpeggios, building a bunch of arpeggios from different starting points. We have another synth in the background giving us a little bit more of a beat. While these arpeggios are happening, we're having multiple synths right now, starting the arpeggios from for different. Where's the rule 34? I don't know, somewhere on the internet, not on my stream though. So let's see where this goes. So arpeggios very much going upwards. Oh, there we go. Bass synth giving us a more coherent. So now between all of these, we have between all the arpeggios that are happening, and all of these arpeggios are just going upward from separate octaves, right? So we're having that while we have the bass coming in slowly, and we are having another synth giving us a new version of a melody. So very active over here. It was really cool to see all those arpeggios just going straight up from as low as they could go to as high as they could go, and then starting again. So yeah, let's you mean rule 34 as a new rule? Well, we don't have enough rules for that. So yeah, go to the degenerate side of the internet if that's what you want to see. I'm not going to take responsibility for that. Let's see where this goes. Oh, drums coming in. Okay, there we go. So now we incorporate all the elements that we were having. We bring back the original melody. We have the bass line. We now have drums. And we are having those arpeggios still going all the way up, repeating throughout the separate octaves that we're having. And that. So the concept of an octave, right? So an octave is the repetition of the same note from a different part of the range. The range is just the notes that your instrument can handle, right? So the way this works is that when you have a scale, scales are usually going to be 7 notes. So let's take the scale of C major, right? So C, D, E, F, G, A, and B. So that is going to be the white keys in the keyboard, starting from C. And then those are 7 notes ending in C. C is going to be your 8th note, which is going to be your octave. So C is going to be the same note. Oh, that kind of silly. What's the scale of A major? And Maya, welcome back. How you doing? Will be the any more LFAs today? No, this is the last one. So A major, it follows a similar formula, which is going to have major 3rd, major 6th, major 7th. So A minor is A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Then you take the 3rd, so C to C sharp. You take the 6th, F to F sharp, G to D sharp, and you have A major. So yeah, they all follow a specific formula. So here's A minor. Then if you take the 3rd, you turn it up into a sharp. You take that 6th, turn it up, turn the 7th as well, and you end up with A major. They all follow the same formula, and at the end of the day, you will have the octave. So the concept of octaves is just going and repeating the same note from different points in the range. So yeah, all scales will follow formulas. All scales follow formulas, and the formulas are based on what we call whole tones and half tones. Half tone, these are 2 intervals. Interval is the distance between 2 notes. The smallest distance between 2 notes in Western music is what we call the half tone or the semitone. So that is going to be from here C to down to B or up to C sharp. So that is a half tone. 2 half tones make a whole tone. So then you grab, and then if you bring 2 half tones, you get a whole tone. So you make a formula based out of that. So for example, major scales is going to be whole tone, half tone, whole tone, whole tone, whole tone, half tone. That, you do this for every note, any note in the chromatic scale, and you're going to land with a major scale. This is the formula for major scales. No matter which note you start, you apply this formula and it's going to be a major scale. So yeah, we're having that, and right now we're having those arpeggios going up the octaves, going from the lower range of the octaves all the way to the higher range, repeating the same chord, while we're having the melody happening with the drums and the bass. Let's see where this goes. Welcome back, Amaya, by the way. Oh, variation of the melody. Nice. Guy in the thumbnail looks like it'd be in the Epstein files. Look, it's VVVVVV, okay? Like, that's... I have never played the game, so I'm not gonna make a comment one way or another, okay? Let me go back a few seconds. I missed a change here. And... okay, going to that, okay, so now we are giving a focus to the rhythmic synth that we were having here drowned behind all of the arpeggios, and we are having now the drums having a little bit more of a highlight. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, because now we actually get to hear this layer by itself. Let's see. Why is that video occurs? GBQ? I don't know. What are you asking me for? Let's see where this goes. With some slides there. Very nice. There we go. We bring back the... oh, we bring back everything. That is one swell dude, yep. It's the fingers. Continuing with this, now with more focus on the rhythmic synth. Oh, the arpeggios are now going down as well. So yeah, now we're just engaging in good old repetition. We're letting everything play out, slightly giving here and or there different focus to different parts, but we are just letting all of the parts that we've been setting up for the first minute and a half, or minute or so of music, and just letting it repeat. Repetition is a friend. When it comes to music, repeating something is going to help your listener remember it. Of course, there's such a thing as overdoing it, but repeating something is a good thing. It can easily be a good thing. Usually, stuff that you don't want to repeat more than once is going to be fairly rare, like your introduction or your outro, something like that. But in general, you want to be able to repeat your melodies, your sequences, or whatever. Ali the Calico, welcome today. It's been a while, yes. What song is this? This is Potential for Anything from the VVVVVV soundtrack. So yeah, we're having this. We're just allowing the listener to soak in the music. Of course, this one is also built. This one is also composed for the purposes of video game scoring. So being able to not distract the player is also important. So if you engage in repetition, that can help the player focus more on the game. Because at the end of the day, game music is going to follow the similar principles of film scoring, where you want the music to either highlight something in the music, to highlight the music to highlight something in the music to highlight something on screen, or to provide more ambient sound, more to the sound design, to be part of the sound design. So those are the two main things. The third one being dramatic irony, but that one's a bit more of a different thing, right? Which is not what we're getting over here. So let's see where this goes. I love how the snare sounds kind of like it's made of wood. More focus on the melody this time around. Variation of it, nice. Back we go to drums and the rhythmic synth. How have you been, Ali? Welcome back. Oh, new version of the arpeggios. So now we're mixing around the different types of arpeggios we're doing. We're doing the root third fifth, the going up and down the arpeggio. We're turning these chords into their own melody. So yeah, let's see. This is really cool. Let's see where it goes. Still doing the different octaves, bringing back that crescendo. Nice. New rhythm synth. Very nice. Adding extra rhythm to this. Not quite a polyrhythm, but still really good. Bringing back the melodic synth. Bringing back everything. Everyone. So right now, it seems we have reached the climax of our piece. The climax is usually going to be the last 1 to 2 minutes of your music, which you're going to want to make as bombastic or as cathartic as possible. What is the highlight of your piece? You're going to want to revisit as much of your material as possible. You're going to want to figure out as many combinations as you want. So, James is the kind of guy that can say 1 + 1 = 3 on stream and be wrong. Yeah, because that's just, no. Let's see where this goes. Oh, really cool. And back we go to the drums, doing some fills, adding those extra toms. I just love it. So when it comes to drums, nowadays we have the concept of the drum fill, right? So a drum fill is you are diverting from the original drums, from the original drum beat that you're doing, in order to create a cadence with your drums. Because when you're doing music, you're doing one of two things. You are building tension or you're resolving that tension. That point in between we call the cadence. Now, cadence is tricky to do when you're doing a drum beat, because the drum beat, you're doing the same thing over and over. You know, you can bring a basic drum beat, dum pa dum pa dum pa dum pa, and that's it, right? So how do you create that moment? Because the moment of cadence is a moment of expectation and resolution. You're creating an expectation of change, and the cadence is then the resolution of that expectation. How do you create that expectation when your drums are doing the same thing? You engage in a drum fill. A drum fill, you bring out something outside of the rhythm that you're doing. Either you are adding to the rest of the drum beat that you're doing, which is kind of what is happening over here, or you stop playing the beat that you're playing, and then, well, maybe it's not wrong. I mean, 1 + 1 = 3. It's by itself is wrong. You would need additional factors in order to justify something like that, in which case 1 + 1 = 3 would just not apply. It would have to be 1x + 1x = 3, where you then bring in other rationales as to what x is. Anyway, so if you see a drum kit, usually a drum kit is going to be built this way. Let me bring this image over here from the drum up above, right? So something I love about drums is how so many of the of their elements are named. So we have the bass drum or the kick drum over here, which, you know, the reason it's called the kick drum is because you use your foot to press down this pedal. Then you have the snare. That's the instrument that has existed for a very long time. Usually it has little chains on the underside, which are called wires for some reason. Then you have the hi-hat, which is two cymbals put against one another that then you can raise. You can change the difference. The bass drum is gonna go boom. The snare drum is gonna bah. The hi-hats are gonna go tss. And then you have some of the others. You have the 3 toms, because the toms go tom, 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 tom. Then you have the crash, because the crash goes crash. Then you can have other cymbals that you might have a splash cymbal that goes splash. Or you can have a China cymbal that one just looks more like a Chinese design ride cymbal, which you use the bell for that. So there's a bunch of different ones, right? But the idea is, usually when you're having a drum beat, it's going to be a combination of bass drum, hi-hat, and snare, or bass drum, ride, and snare. And then you get into some other more complicated genres in which you start other combinations, right? But in general, it's going to be those. And then when you make a drum fill, you're gonna try a variation of those rhythms, giving you that rhythmic cadence, allowing you to then jump into the next section, which is what is happening over here. Let's see where this goes. Oh, we're bringing back the melody. Yep, we have the melody. There's the drum fill. I can never differentiate between crash and splash. I have it here. Here's my studio drummer. Here's my session kit. So this is a kit for this. Let's see. So we have these. Where's the crash? Crash is usually around here. So here's a crash. No, not the, yeah, the tip. Or maybe the edge. Crash edge. This is a crash. Where's the splash? Here's the splash. You hear how the splash is higher? Here's the crash. Here's the splash. Two very, very different samples. Two very, very different sounds. So yeah, very, very much onomatopoeia-based naming. So yeah, we're having these going back. We had a drum fill. Let me go back a couple of seconds. Let's see where this goes. Oh, we removed the snare here. It's just the bass drum. Ooh, those rhythms going back. Bringing back the arpeggios with a little bit more focus. Then we're able to identify them. Yeah, learning the difference between the sounds is something that takes a little bit of practice. I am blessed with good ears. I don't have perfect pitch, but I can tell you the difference between a lot of these instruments. I wouldn't be able to hear one and go, yeah, that's the crash. That's something that I am very lucky to have, that I can identify these differences. Oh boy. All right, so VIP, what are you talking about? The midterms are this year. He still has 3 years left. Anyway, let's see where this goes. All right, we remove the we remove the drums. We're slowly removing elements, I think. Back to the melody. And how are you gonna end this? and then it loops. Okay, there you go. No, it's 4 years per term. The midterms is because some people in the House and the Senate, their 4-year terms are just 2 years after the general election. So yeah, it's 4 years per term. Anyway, with that, there you have it. That was potential for anything from the VVVVVV soundtrack 1016. It says here by the Araiguma Shinobi. I don't know if this is the original upload, but there you have it. Once again, everybody, this has been a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician and composer, and my objective here has been to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what's happened here musically. So, if you're watching this on the YouTube video archive thing, thank you for watching. Make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you're going to use. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, become a member. Once again, everybody, don't forget to join the Discord server. That's where everything gets announced first, whether it's the streams going live, the videos going up in the channels, updates, announcements, projects, whatever it is, it all gets announced there first. Of course, that's where we also have the community, where we hang out, we post memes, we steal memes from other people's servers, claim them as our own, that kind of stuff. And of course, is where I host the Vintage Story server. If you don't know what it is, basically like Minecraft, but a lot more focus on the survival and the nitty-gritty. I like it better, so that's why I'm hosting a server there. Join the community linked in the description. Go join the Discord server, become part of the community. Also share these videos with your friends, with your families, with your family's friends, with your friends' families. Those are two very distinct concepts, by the way. With your online and offline communities, go share these videos with everybody that you know. Also use the hype function on YouTube. We have a group on the Discord that coordinates for that, so linked in the description. That's another reason to join. Musicians, artists, or otherwise on YouTube or elsewhere, this is an open invitation. If you want any of my skills for any of your projects, whether it is my guitars, Mongolian throat singing, you know, the little kind of thing, regular singing, voice acting, if you want help figuring out something for your composition or whatever it is, if you want something for your or something else for collaborations, whatever it is, reach out, let me know, let's make stuff together, let's work, let's make stuff. And if you're in the audience and you know somebody that could benefit, reach out, let them know. Please do not harass anyone, please do not spam anyone, be cool about things, don't be a rat. Members get early access to the content. I schedule the videos for the week on Saturdays, and if you're a paid member on YouTube, regardless of your tier, you get access to the videos when I schedule them, at least for the LFAs. That's up to 1 week, a little over a week in advance, so become a member today. If you want to listen to this without me interrupting every 3.5 seconds, I'll be linking in the description down below. If you want to request a song and you're not on the live stream, check the pinned comment on this video. It has the instructions on what to do. If you are on the live stream, we do have the giveaway after this, so stick around for that. And if you want to catch the streams when they happen live, we aim, if you want to catch the streams when they happen live, we aim for Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Central European Time. We stream live on Twitch, YouTube, and Kick so that you can tune in for whichever platform you prefer. Again, 6 p.m. Central Europe. If you're not in Europe, do not worry. We have the full up-to-date streaming schedule showing in your local time zone in both Discord and Twitch. That's another reason to join the Discord. So if you live in San Antonio Oeste and you're like, yeah, but what time is 6 p.m. in Hungary? I don't live there. Do not worry. Just go to the Discord or the Twitch and it's going to show in your local time zone. At San Antonio Oeste is on the east side of Argentina. Great. And follow the gaming channel. I have a gaming channel because, of course, I have a gaming channel on YouTube. What else could I possibly have? Games are Basterd. That's where I put the gaming after show recordings when they happen. Recorded live during the live streams after show, and then the recordings go here. Linked in the description, or just search on YouTube. Same username as James R. Basterd. Just swap the J for a G, and you got it. And yeah. There you have it. Potential for anything. VVVVVV. That was good stuff, dude. Chiptune is good. Good stuff. But yeah, let's move on.